Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very last official week of school for this year. Today is Monday, May 24th, and remember, everyone, this week ends and the school year ends on the 27th, which is a Thursday. So keep that in mind. It's not Friday this week. The 27th, the very last official day of school, is on Thursday. So make sure you've got that circled on your calendars. With all that out of the way, there are just a few things that I wanted to go over for this week, a few priorities, and this will be for all grade levels, so it will be relevant to all of you. I will say though, a lot of you have started to finish up your classes for the year. Some of you are actually completely done at this point, which is awesome to see. If I have talked to you and I've let you know that I've finalized your students' grades for the year and said, okay, you guys can start on summer at this point. You don't necessarily have to watch this video. You can if you want to, but you do not need to feel obligated to do that. I will say, go ahead and continue to check your email at least until May 27th, though, just in case there's anything that I send out that's important or that the school sends your way that they want you to read, any important info. Other than that, if you're totally done, and I've talked to you about being totally done, then you don't have to watch this video. For everyone else, though, here are some things to keep in mind this final week of school. So the first question is, what are we doing this week? And the answer is pretty obvious. We're just continuing with what we've been doing so far. If you've been really diligent about meeting your times, about turning in your assignments on the due dates, getting everything in, then keep that up. If you haven't been so great with that so far, this is the week to change. This is the last week to change that. So make sure that we're really, really locked in and focused this last week. That goes for everybody. One thing that I've mentioned for several months now in these update videos is the EPIC homework help completion requirement. This, again, it's only for grades 3 through 12. So younger students, pre-K through second, you guys don't need to worry about this. This is only for 3rd through 12th graders. And if you haven't already, again, this is a requirement. You're not done with school until you've got this taken care of. So make sure that you take care of it. It's just one session in EPIC homework help. You don't need to do the orientation necessarily. You can if you want to, but if you don't want to spend the time doing that, you can just jump right into an on-demand session. The vast majority of you have taken care of this at this point. There's just a few stragglers, so make sure you're taking care of that if that is you. If you need some help with it, please let me know. Please give me a phone call and I can walk you through it. Or on this same YouTube channel, I think I have a video going through the steps of how to actually get into EPIC homework help and schedule a session. It's very, very easy once you're actually in there. It's pretty obvious once you're actually in the application. The next section is all about 11th graders. I'll keep this short. 11th grade priorities for this week. Of course, your curriculum is very, very important, but a couple of other supplemental things that are also very important are your next step and your ACT prep in Shmoop. So next step, I know for a fact that all of you 11th graders on my roster have already done all of the necessary work. You just need to upload proof of that work and a couple of little tiny reflections in your Google Classroom. Next step is more of a pass-fail type of grade. So make sure that you're actually getting credit for the work you did. Prioritize that right now and get that taken care of. Like I said, I know all of you 11th graders have already done the necessary amount of work. You just need to upload proof of that into your Google Classroom. To do that, if you don't remember, you open up Google, and make sure you're logged into your school account, your school Google account. Click on the Google Apps, and then you just click on Google Classroom. And on your Google Classroom, though, there should only be maybe one or two of these tiles. Find the one that says Next Step Internship, and obviously it'll have your name on it. And you click on it, and then in there are a few, I think maybe 6 or 7 things that you complete or upload. It's very, very quick. This shouldn't take you more than, gosh, probably 15 minutes at the most to complete. So make sure, like I said, you've all done the work, but I can't actually give you credit for it unless I actually have your uploads in Google Classroom. Much like the EPIC homework help requirement, if you are an 11th grader and you want some help with this, if it's just not making sense to you, please just give me a phone call, shoot me a text message or something, and I can help you. I'm more than willing to help you with that. Academic overtime. So what exactly is academic overtime? This is for families who are returning to EPIC next year if you're re-enrolled. If your student scored below proficient on their latest benchmark or their state tests, then they qualify for this program called academic overtime. Really, it's very simple. All it is their EPIC Essentials, which this year we've been using Freckle, at least on my roster I have been. That stays open for a little bit of the summer, and they continue to work in there during the summer. A lot less though. It's about 1 hour per week. So you can think of that, maybe do like 10 minutes per day, 15 minutes per day. Very, very minimal stuff. And it's not the entire summer, of course, but that is something that we do offer. And that is, again, for people who are re-enrolled coming back next year. I will also say this, the academic overtime, if you really, really don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. The summer is yours, but it is something that helps bridge that summer gap, especially if they didn't meet that proficient level in their benchmarks or their state tests. That means that bridging that summer gap with a little bit more instruction, helping to fill in those areas where they need help, could be very, very beneficial to them. So I would recommend it, again, if you fall into that camp. But otherwise, I'll go ahead and move on. Retention. So retention, this is something that I wanted to mention as well. If you don't know what that is, that's being held back. It's keeping them in the same grade for an additional year for a little bit extra support. If we collectively think that that could be beneficial for them, if we feel like they need that. Retention, I know often, it's a very touchy subject, and a lot of people do not like it, but I did want to bring it up. It's something that if you feel like your child could benefit from this, or if you feel like they need it, please let me know. Let me know ASAP. I can fill out a retention form, and if we both agree to it, then we can retain your student for another year. Ultimately, and what I'm planning on doing this week is contacting you if I feel like I maybe have some concerns, if I think that retention could be beneficial, I'll contact you directly about it. But I will say ultimately, the decision is yours. If you want your student to matriculate, move on to the next grade, we can do that. All I will say is I will give you what I think would be best. And I'm going to talk to my principal about it too on a case-to-case basis. But ultimately, you have to sign on to it. And then the last thing here, what happens if my child doesn't finish by May 27th? This is a really important question as well. So of course, our very last official day is the 27th, but there is kind of a caveat to that as well. For students that are re-enrolled for next year, this only applies to you guys. If you are re-enrolled for next year, and you are not completely done by May 27th, if you don't have 100% pacing, 100% progress by May 27th, then I've been told that you can continue to work into June. I'm hoping that this doesn't apply to anyone this year, but it very well could. And, that's fine. And, if it does, I will, of course, again, contact you individually, let you know what's going on. Again, this is only for people who are re-enrolled. If you're not re-enrolled for next year, then you do not get to continue to work into June. If you are not done by May 27th, you don't have that, again, 100% progress in one or more of your classes, then I can't finalize the grade, and it just winds up as an incomplete on the transcript. So again, we don't want to fall into that situation. Do your very, very best, whatever grade level you're at, getting all of your work done by May 27th. If you are interested this week ever in where exactly your child is at progress-wise, grade-wise, then I would say the best way is to just give me a phone call and I can let you know over the phone. If you want it in text format, you can email me or shoot me a text message. I would be happy to give you as many updates as you want this week. We only have a few days left, so make sure that you are continuing to work really, really hard. Anyway, that's about it. That's everything that I wanted to mention. I wish you all luck this week. I know for a fact there will definitely be another update video this week. I'll probably put it out on May 27th, the very last official day of school. But, if we don't see each other by then, if you don't hear from me, then I'll say, goodbye for now, and you'll hear from me on Thursday.